Oh, no, sorry. I called the Wednesday, August 5th, 2026, Finance Advisory and Enhancement Committee to order.
Dave Micklick.
Here.
Lauren Savard.
Here.
Paul Barth. Michael Pomykowski.
Here. Thank you. This is time for public comments. So there's nobody here and there's no one online. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But we've made public comments. So we'll get to reports, the committee chairperson. To me, I don't think I really have anything to report right now. Just, I'll just say, like, in terms of things that will affect the village is looking at some the costs that are going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years in terms of water. So the village board is kind of looking at some options. We're going to have a lot of water infrastructure going into second phase of Marchstone. There's some stuff going on with Dennis, and Park Street is getting possibly, don't know when, it's sort of up in the air, like new sewer and water lines. Some of it could be starting next year or late or all at once or whatever. So village board is looking at that stuff, but that's going to be some serious borrowing for some of that stuff. It could be over $5 million. Could impact water rates fairly substantially to over 50%. So I have with respect to that. Do you remember doing anything around here? Bobby, do you have anything?
I'll just piggyback on what Michael said. So the village board did approve, it's called a simplified rate case for the PSC. So the water rates will likely be going up at 3%, kind of inflationary increase later this year.
And that's because of the new water that needs to be built.
Well, so this 3% increase, like I said, is just for inflation, you know.
Yeah.
We should be doing these regularly. But what Michael's talking about, yes, there's a lot of infrastructure going to be happening that current rates won't cover the payments on the debt.
But don't, some, you're stating, doesn't some of the infrastructure get paid for by the developer, like in the second phase, Marchstone and stuff?
It is, but this is even just the village portion of off the top of my head, I don't know, $4 million, $3.5 million. It's going to be a giant reservoir put up there. There's going to be a booster station placed somewhere down below. That pump's going to be pumping water up there.
That's what I was going to ask, is where's water coming from?
Well, we have 3 wells, so we easily have water capacity. It's just that it has to get
Using the storage, yeah, the boosters and then the storage.
Yeah, and so the storage goes from $1 million, a booster. I don't remember what that cost from the sheet, 800,000, 9,000. The stuff, water infrastructure is just very pricey.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So it's the cost of the infrastructure to get everything set up.
Right.
Gonna result in that pipe.
Yeah, that's going to be substantial loans taking off.
Sounds like life in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll just mention too that we held open book the last 2 days. I'm sure everyone got their notice of assessment letters. I'd say overall the process did not go well. The letters got mailed out very late to residents. They had less than a week to even set up an appointment. And then because the assessor's building was in Menasha, it got damaged in the tornado, so they didn't have power and phone lines for a few days. Their website wasn't letting people either book an appointment, or it was like double booking. So we had just like the whole lobby was like full of people. They were waiting 2 hours. Like the walk-in people were waiting. It just was not smooth. Residents were very unhappy, not only because of the huge increases, but just because of how difficult it was to get appointments, and it was not a positive experience. We're getting, just a lot of complaints and stuff, but it seems like the people who did meet with the assessors did have luck in lowering their assessments. So if you feel yours is hi, and, you know, you can still call them or send an email.
And where are they? I'm new around here. Are they here? Or-
The assessors,
Yeah.
their office is in Menasha, Appleton.
That's when he's in the tornadoes.
Yep, but they were here the last 2 days meeting with residents, a couple of them were, so.
Oh, so people are having success, you said, getting some reduction?
Mhm.
Were those substantial reductions or?
So like Jen, remember Jen Henry?
Yeah,
He posted on Facebook that his was lowered maybe like 11% or something. And then he actually came back yesterday and sat here for several hours and was talking with people once they, you know, kind of doing some research and trying to figure out how they were coming up with numbers and stuff. So I don't know if he's planning to report out on what he found or.
But he said, so you said people could still call.
Yep, so board review is September 16th, so they have up until like 48 hours before then to try to work with the assessor. And it isn't, I mean, nope, we don't want people to come to board review. It's kind of a pain. Well, I don't know, I guess I've never witnessed it, but it's like court essentially. And so we encourage people to try to work it out with the assessor prior to that.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I'm getting questions about that. Just about the assessments and stuff, people saying how much theirs went up. It doesn't sound like there's a whole lot of complaints or people were just like, yeah, it's.
I feel like a lot of people, when I have talked to them, like obviously they're not happy, but they understand. And a lot of them, you know, look at their new value and they're like, well, that is what I'd sell it for, you know, like it's not out of line. I think it's just a shock that there was such an increase. Yeah,
Okay, well, that's good to know. So I don't know.
yeah.
And is the assessor information on our website? Or how do you?
Yep, so otherwise it'll be in the letter they would have gotten in the mail too. But yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's nothing online that you can compare, you can do your own comparison to what, like neighbors or if you think it's similar also, just to see how they're.
So somebody posted, I met on the What's Happening Cross Plains page, but I guess somebody did post, maybe it was Jed or maybe it was someone else. On the assessor's website, they have some kind of a tool where it helps you, like,
Doug was able to do that last year.
Okay. Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Same thing. Didn't help.
and it sounds like a lot of what one of the things they look at is your house style to help determine the value. So it's not just like the houses in your neighborhood. It's like the ranch houses, the colonial houses, the bi-levels or tri-level, you know, because different styles of houses are like more favorable. I don't know.
I don't recall them maybe coming to actually walk through our.
They did not this year. Nope. In the 2018 reassessment, they did come in the houses. But this one is just called an interim market update. Is a lot cheaper option.
Oh,
But yeah, they did not go into every home like they did. I think in 2018, was it like $80,000 or something? I feel it was,
For what they charge?
yeah, I think that's what the assessors charged in 2018. It was a lot,
Wow, that sounds, I should have remembered that.
right? That's what I mean. So when the old assessors, their contract was up. So at the end of 2023, we put it out to bid then. And so what the old company and the new company, what they did was a 5-year contract and they built in this reassessment year, but then like spread it out over 5 years. So you weren't having like a normal year, a huge, you know, expensive year. And then.
Well, actually, I think we weren't doing that before, it was just like, you know, they were just gonna open book or just do their thing, and then that's
Yeah.
when they charged us a lot to do the whole assessment. Otherwise.
Yeah.
Where that was a good idea.
Mhm.
Okay, well, good to know.
So, yep, we've been taking a lot of questions on it. Just trying to ease people a little bit. Yeah, for people, you know, just trying to calm them down a little bit.
and I can't remember the, letter, I don't think it said been nice to know like what the overall percentage increase for the entire village was. To compare, so if my assessment went up 35%, you could say, well, the village as a whole went up 20 or went up 40. Where did I compare to the average?
Right.
I thought somewhere I saw it was like 65 or 67%,
The average? Or was it?
something like that, yeah.
60 was the average increase in assessment, 65 to 67%.
Something like that, I think. But there were a lot of them that doubled or 90% increases. I mean, there were a lot of big ones.
I was also, kind of the market, where people are asking for their houses right now. Around their own. Oh,
One what was really interesting, I know it's probably off topic. The people who were most upset or had concerns, where I would say were more on the older homes where they're valued at like the 300 to 400 range. And this one lady I remember came in, she's like, "There's no way my house would sell for 315,000." I'm like, "You can sell a shack in this town for three." You know, like I think people are just out of touch with real estate here. Oh,
and then there's also the other thing is, that's my quote, unrealized gain.
mhm.
So why should I be tax on something I haven't had?
Right.
Now, again.
No, I bought it for $50,000. Like,
What people don't understand is the fact that if the whole assessment moves up, the mill rate's gonna come down and you just.
it's just trying to educate people a
Right.
little and.
What is the assessment, accurate assessment?
Yeah. Mhm.
So is the book out on their website or do they wait till closer to?
I think the preliminary one's out there, yeah.
Whether the
Mhm.
book is on, so you could see the whole village without having to
Yep.
access the annual everything.
Access the email.
It's updated, yeah.
Is it updated with the preliminaries?
Mhm.
I tried to do it last week. I got my probably 10 days ago. It didn't have anything updated then.
Yeah, it was, because we were, yeah, because I was out checking it out for me.
On the 27th or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, on 27th.
It's sort of interesting too to find out who was right on topic again too on that. Because we had our cabin assessed last year. And I called the assessor. And and saying this, I said, no, it's not full. It's not year round. He never walked in. He never looked at it. Never. Oh, these are just the notes that were on from before. I'm like, well, the last time they had a full reassessment was before I bought.
Mhm.
So I didn't, like, oh, and so it's about well, and I don't have a well. I'm on a shared well. Well, we get, oh, then we should lower that. So that's what they lowered it because it's a shared well versus
Yeah.
a single well. But it was, it never.
Yeah, I think even Jay mentioned today during our staff meeting on his, he had replaced his deck with a sunroom. Well, they didn't remove the deck, so it showed he had a deck and a sunroom. You know, so that's why he got.
He would have done that before. I thought he would have done that before 2018. He said that something for a long time.
But he might not have like talked to them or, you know, asked about it or something.
Do you think that we got it from the building?
You'd think so.
The previous.
Yeah. In any event, he got it fixed. It is, Jay. We were just talking about you.
Oh, boy, I don't know if that's good.
You ever done playing football?
No, this is my first year that I am not being coaching football. I fitted all the boys with helmets the last.
They were out in front of my house.
Yeah, I saw them today. Yep, this is the first day of practice.
Okay, so
Oh, did I?
Start at 6.
Oh, I thought it was 6:30. My ear.
It used to be 6:30, but we moved it up.
Ah, I apologize.
Can't talk about it.
Okay, we were still just on. Yeah, I was talking about
Oh.
open book and assessments.
It was a nightmare yesterday.
That's Tuesday.
Okay, so now we are on to discussion of possible approval of the June 3rd, 2026 Finance Advisory and Enhancement Committee minutes. The motion for approval of the minutes.
Group, or the motion of the group?
Okay, I'll second that motion. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right, minutes are approved. We're on a discussion regarding any purchases or policy bid tabulation forms. Does there any questions on any bills? Have you seen anything at all?
Make it bigger.
I really didn't. Nothing really.
Yeah, I kind of scanned through it. I think, we purchased that F600 and
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah, was
That
on.
was like, was that state bid or was that?
Yeah.
Because I noticed there wasn't a form on there or whatever. So I got that. It's a state bid price. How do you figure out what that is? It's still, you just call
I
them.
don't know how that works. Matt just assures me it.
It used to be where it was very public. You could go onto the state site and you search what you want, they would list it and tell who the vendors are.
Right,
Yeah.
That's how, I haven't done it for probably 15 years, but it used to be very simple.
right. Whereas now,
I have no idea. I guess I haven't really looked at it.
so did he have to fill out a purchasing form for that then, Bobby? Or,
You probably should have or could have, yeah. He didn't.
We gotta make people start doing that. I think. I mean, it is part of the process and it helps, even for record keeping, and it's a pretty simple form you design.
Yes, it is. Yeah. All I need to do is,
Yeah, there's just no reason.
right, because then he should submit like a quote for the truck or something that would say like state bid price.
Right.
Of what he's saying price it, whereas, right, is that correct? I mean, I would think so.
right, it's basically him acknowledging, yes, this is state bid price.
Rather than you just saying, I don't trust it is. Or,
Yeah.
or, well, I hope it is.
We gotta stick to our policies.
Okay, yeah, that was the only real giant one that I saw in there. Figured that was the price, because it was like, what, 69,000, 9,000 or something?
The 60 something, yeah.
They say it's working really well,
What's working?
that truck.
That new system, the switching
Yeah.
code system.
Switching.
Yeah, they said, Matt said.
Oh, it is 50.
That it's going really well. It's worked as well as they thought it would work.
It's as easy for them.
Yeah.
Not a dump for,
So that's a good thing.
yeah. Yeah, these trucks are kind of trying to standardize, and so the back bed, they can put a dump truck on, or they could put a box on it if they're chipping stuff, and it's easy to switch one out with another. One guy can do it, and these like half hours before it was a 2-man job, it could take hours. And this is the system that's.
I thought it was like 5 or 10 minutes. I thought it was like super quick.
Oh, like the new ones?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
maybe
they
it's,
slide off and then they have it go in and pick up and slide back. I think it's real simple.
oh, maybe it's,
And I think all the electronic stuff is on the main truck, so you don't have to worry about the attachments with brake lights and everything like that.
yeah,
At least that's what it looks like to me when we looked at the system.
because it sounded like they had to take the truck and attach the new bed, or the new system to the truck bed, or to the.
Right.
They attached it to the truck, and then that's, things slide in and out of this piece that's attached to the truck. So, yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So that's those are the bids. What's the next thing? Any discussion regarding the financial reports? Did anybody see anything in there? Anything? I scanned them real quick. I never really noticed anything.
Kind of right in line. 50%.
Right.
And this does include, the board passed a budget amendment. There were just a few things on there, wasn't. I'm trying to think of one was the,
Can't think of one. And I question
Oh.
one of them even.
well, maybe this doesn't have it in here, cause I thought there was the, it might not, I guess I'm wrong. One of them was the insurance payment, but it looks like it's not here, so I must not have put it in June. Did we approve that in July? That's what it was. We approved it in July, so that's why
Yeah.
it's not in June. Okay, sorry, I was thinking that was in there. But anyway, we trued up a few things with the budget amendment. Yeah, other than that, most of the operating expenses are good. Salaries and benefits, like, we have some savings. Some vacant positions or, especially like Parks and Rec, I feel like we had a lot of savings in salaries and benefits, so. But now we are completely fully staffed. We have all 25 of our full-time positions are filled, so. I feel like it hasn't
So
happened
we're
for.
next year. One number.
Yeah, there'll be a bunch of retirements now.
New director, the department.
Kane.
Roskowski? Roskowski?
Yeah, I don't know his name, but
Oh, you can't miss him. He's a big guy, real long hair. Yeah, nice guy, but he's huge. He's a big man.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Did he come from outside?
Stone, right?
Columbus,
Oh,
Yeah.
Columbus,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
He lives in Sun Prairie, but works. Oh,
Oh.
oh, no, yep. Columbus, Wisconsin, yeah.
Okay, so we're all good with all this stuff? So we'll move on to the discussion regarding the village of Cross Lane's disposal of municipal. Or Bobby wanted this on.
Yeah, so with the new building, we're gonna have a lot of like used furniture and stuff that we're not taking over to the new building. So then it's like, what can we do with it? Some of it we can sell, right? So it's like, we're thinking it'd be a huge hassle to like haul it all to the Wisconsin surplus, which is what we do currently with vehicles and larger pieces of equipment that we sell. So then we were brainstorming, like, do we just have like kind of a walkthrough where people can walk through and buy things? Or, does it have to be like a silent auction, or can we price it? Can we put things on Marketplace? Trying to figure out that kind of stuff. So we wanted to have a policy in place for selling used equipment and then also vehicles and stuff. I did find a few examples. I didn't do a super deep dive. I thought that was maybe something that the committee, maybe someone would be interested in either looking at what I found or seeing if there was a few more examples, kind of seeing what we liked from this policy or that policy. And I know we talked a little bit about this this morning in our staff meeting, and one thing that Chief Tony requested we put in is that, like, if the police department sells something of theirs, that they would like to keep the revenue from the sale of that to use in their department rather than it just going into a big pot. I think what wouldn't be included in that is like things that are capital, like vehicles, because those weren't purchased by a department. So like a police car, yeah.
I didn't want to say anything, but that's gonna be kind of a nightmare, and it's gonna really kind of irritate people because some departments don't have a lot of assets, like Public Works. They go through tons of equipment and stuff, so do they get to keep it? None of them are bringing the money in to buy it. It's all general revenue. So I think we have to talk about it.
Right,
I didn't say anything because I think you need to have discussion, but that's very unlikely. I don't think you're gonna find many departments. Sewer and water would be the difference because they're an enterprise. It's their property, they're coming, but again, we get back to it. We pay 50,000, we're paid 50,000 for those squads. He sells them for let's say when he's done with them for 5,000-6,000, why should he keep that and then we
Right, I
only buy
agree.
the new one, you know?
Yeah,
I think if it's a capital item that we borrow the money for, no, but if like he sells an office chair that he might have bought out of his budget, okay, he can keep the $20, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just something
Yeah.
to talk about, because it'd be one thing if they were buying it themselves, they should get it, but it just seems, I'm trying to think of the logic in it.
yeah.
That,
Things like that are just all getting paid for by taxpayers. Just throw it back in the general fund and who cares and move on. Like,
yeah.
I agree with that, but it was something he wanted.
No,
brought
no,
up,
I
so
think it's something we should discuss and see if anybody doesn't. I've not heard that. You know, the city of Madison, I think, has a real, you know, the first time when you have surplus, the first people who get shot at it are other departments,
Mhm.
right? That's
Yeah.
number one, it stays with that. And then what they do is they can put it out for sale to the public. They have their own sale website, and if it doesn't sell there, then they either move it to the UW surplus or to regular surplus. And that seems to me, you know, I personally think the people who paid for it, the taxpayers, should have first shot at buying it. You know, if somebody in our village wants this for their rec room or something, why not?
rather than just sending it to the surplus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like us to think about that and do something where, and again, I don't want to tax, staff too much, but I do think it'd be a nice thing to have, you know, obviously I still believe department first. So if the library or somebody wants.
Right, library already claimed that he's.
Yeah, you know, that they should get first shot.
They already claimed to look at it.
Yeah, but Elizabeth wants these.
So we should transfer money from the library budget.
Yeah, you know, and then I think, then you go to village residents and then you go to whoever you want. And then the scrap yard if nobody wants it.
So,
I mean, that's just my thoughts.
no, I agree with that. That's fine. I mean, how much stuff in this building isn't going? Like, are these chairs going? Is all this stuff?
Well, that's a hot topic. It depends who you ask.
I'm going to save them. I would like to save some because we're only getting what, 38? 38
It's
or
less than 50.
yeah, it's less than 50 chairs. We have a big room to store. They stackable. They're in pretty good shape.
Right.
Why not? If we have a room of 75, why not haul 30 of them out? But they want to get, you know, because of storage, but we can do measurements, but that's what she's referring to. Cause I like these chairs. These are whoever bought these bought some high quality
Yeah,
chairs.
they're sturdy.
They're very
They're
sturdy and
sturdy,
they
yes.
really warm well.
Yeah.
And some of them are hardly been used.
Well, no, yeah.
And, you know,
I think, yeah, if there's room in the storage room for
Yeah.
them, then we can keep some.
but there's not too much besides like the copier and the print.
But
The
like
IT
all of our desks and
That's not going. No.
none of those are going, file cabinets, all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
So there'll be stuff here for sure.
A
right.
lot of it's, you
But
know,
I'm even.
50 years old.
Just this
Right.
big thing, you know, what is our policy going forward, you know? Cause they're just making a big haul to, the resale
Yeah.
place surplus tomorrow or something, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure he's all taken, but.
So he's
taken
taking
some
a bunch of stuff. But again, I think residents should have a shot at it. That's just,
Yeah.
Who said who's taking?
Oh,
man,
man, who- Yeah, like Jerry's old minivan. Like, should we put that up to village residents to get an opportunity to buy it before it goes to auction?
I don't know.
I don't know.
well, like I say, to me, it's not that hard to put on the website. Here's a list of property and a price, and then if no one, it sits there
Yeah.
for 30 days, and if no one takes it, boom, it goes. And
Yeah.
it's a little effort,
Yeah,
you know.
Right, someone might want that.
Yeah.
land. Just going up and be whatever.
I always said I was gonna buy. It's my beater, yeah.
So does it stop the surplus? Do they sell like on consignment then? Is it?
Mhm.
Is it? I don't know how that works, to be honest with you.
They sell it and then we get a check.
You do, have we ever gotten a check?
We do all-
Oh, okay. Cause sometimes,
They take like a seller's fee or, there's a fee.
yeah, I'm sure they take, yeah.
But yeah,
Sometimes it has to go to, some stuff has to go directly to the school, fund. Like when I was in the drug unit, anytime we sold a car, it would go to the school fund. Which, and that's because you don't want cops making profit on, confiscated stuff, so.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so it's part of the anti-corruption, so I didn't know what they did with revenue stuff.
We'll just open up a booth at Crazy Frank's.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, it sounds like they're kind of cleaning out the evidence room now, like old stuff that they can get rid of. And they're just like kind of putting it out by the dumpster or whatever.
Oh, well, because that was the other, we had police auctions every 2 years. I mean, twice a year. We would, because we had hundreds of bikes and, all kinds of property that, abandoned property and stuff. So twice a year is city put that stuff, the police, through the city,
Yeah.
put that up for sale.
I mean, is that something we put in here too, like abandoned property sale?
I think we have
don't
to
know.
talk to the chief. But yeah, why not? Again, I would only do it for 30 days. But once you start talking about that, then you're talking about a lot of work. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
For Madison, it would be a ton of work.
Yes, it would. Okay. Yeah, we're just,
No, I
Trying to
think,
get some
I think it's time for us to have a policy.
There was two examples we had. One was like a town policy from like must be like a township type.
yep.
And one was from county, so it's kind of like, we got it right.
I was really struggling to find examples and then they all call them something different. So then I was trying to Google different names of what they might call it. And it was funny how many in Canada I came across.
I gotta believe every city has
Which is, yeah,
one. I know Madison.
okay. That's, I couldn't figure out like what they would call it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I just did a real quick search, but I'm sure, the group here can come up with some more.
Because Madison has a code system where you put everything on so other departments can look at it. But that's a huge city, so.
Yeah.
It would be worth it, but they have some type of thing that we could obviously simplify. I know they do. I gotta believe everybody does. So
I think so,
I
yeah.
just can't believe every city lets the department heads do what with public property. That would be odd.
So what are you looking for from us?
Somebody to do this.
Well, I think we're pretty far along. I just don't know the details. I mean, with what you're talking about, this county one in there kind of reads like you're talking. It was very close department heads first, or other departments. We would just have to, I think this county one could probably be used.
I don't think we need anything like 10 pages, it can be fairly simple. Yeah,
Very simple.
Yeah.
Thinking like
Yeah.
10 pages long, like.
right. Yeah,
I was thinking like 2 pages of that. I mean, this one is just a page and a half, and it seems to do a pretty good job. I think this one could just be doctored a
just
little bit.
cleaned up a
Maybe.
little.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why they pulled out IT equipment that's different. And the other,
The only thing I would suggest with IT equipment is to make sure that it gets scrubbed before it gets out.
well, yeah, I guess, yeah.
That would be.
I think
Yeah.
typically what we do is we pull the hard drive and then we just recycle it, like in the
Yeah.
electronics recycling. We've never tried to sell any of our IT stuff, I don't think.
They used to work with, Southern California Edison, and they would regularly have sales like every 2 to 3 years, because that's how the life ideally of IT.
Mm-hmm.
And then by then we've got new equipment, new hardware, new software, whatever. And then they would offer those up to they would have a sale, or they would donate them to nonprofits, or they would do stuff like that.
Yeah, my brother works in the private sector and they were putting all new laptops in, so they were
Yeah.
selling them. And I bought one,
Yeah.
it was
Still,
hardly, yeah, it was 2 years old, and
Right.
hardly used, and,
We keep ours a long time.
but
Yeah.
they did scrub them. They
Yeah.
cleaned them and then just put the basic. whatever
there's
you
so
put
many
on.
people that can use that, kind of teachers can use them, kids can use them, students can use them. You know,
Yeah.
people like us can use them. I mean, I can tell you how old my Dell is, I'm still using it, and it works fine, but probably needs more hard drive space. My little red line is getting
Getting close.
So I gotta, my son keeps calling me up and saying, Mom, you gotta go in here and do this and do that. Okay. So,
I'm not a tech expert by any means.
I have one of them if you want one. He's going for his master's at UW in AI.
My son is too.
Really, they should talk.
Mm.
Because it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. He says, some of the classes have been very difficult for him. Pretty good student.
Anything?
Yeah,
Did you hear about the AI that jumped out of its box?
I've heard, where there's been a number of things. That robot one went crazy, and then all the cars getting all sent to the
It
same
went
place.
outside of its parameters
Yeah.
and it taught itself how to move on from the parameters they had given it.
Whoa.
So it was on the news the other night.
Yeah.
A little bit scary. I just think pull the plug, but it's probably not that easy.
No, I don't think it is.
Just pull the plug. But that's why they have IT separate, because it, like, you can keep the chairs and the tables for a long time, they don't change. The IT changes.
Well, I can take a shot at this selling policy. I mean, I think it's gonna start at this
Kind of-
county one and just maybe simplify it a little bit. Basically, is what I think I'm gonna do, and having a lot of the taxpayer stuff, and like they break out that like vehicles shall be sold at Wisconsin surplus, but I'll just loop that over the property.
Yeah, we could list it on our website for the 30 days or,
Also, before it goes to.
so how would we value it? Maybe, do we need to have anything on there
Vehicles,
about
really easy. I mean, there are all
just
kinds
going
of
like
sites
KBB
that
or
you
something?
can do.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know if we need to put that.
The only thing with vehicles is, I don't know if there's state statutes that would govern us selling them, and what kind of liability do you have if you sell it? It's just a question, no, I think you should write it up how you want, and then that's part of the research to say, hey, how come everybody does that? You know, or, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there, because I've always been surprised that, they haven't done it, but then I know, even Madison, we run our own auctions and everything, but they always took vehicles to surplus. So I don't know if there's something
Oh.
insurance wise or something, or state statute.
Or 'cause
that
you gotta
says if
collect-
Sell a car, you need this and that, I don't know. Cause we're considered, we would be, that would be business-like activity.
And then do we get in any trouble with like tax, like sales tax? Cause like we buy things that not pay sales tax, but if we sell something, then do we have to charge sales tax? I don't know.
Well, that's a darn good question. They never did that. The city never did that. And I know when I sold the stuff from the church, for my new building, they didn't do sales tax. But I don't know.
You're
if they-
probably supposed to claim that on your income tax return, right?
Maybe, or what they did is I was selling pews for $25. Maybe they worked it out that it was $23.50 and $1.50 for sale. I don't know how, you'd have to check on that. We did not actually, the billing part was not with a sales tax line item, but I don't know
Yeah.
if.
I
the
just assumed that
city
was
had
like
just
something with the
pulled it off.
vehicle
I don't
tax or something, if that was why it goes to auctions.
Could be. That would be something we should check into. That's a key thing, because we don't want to start collecting sales tax.
Okay,
Or it might be those tax titles and license that you pay at you buy your cars.
Yeah,
Some of the
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, the person would pay sales tax when they.
yeah, yeah, for sure. No, I'm thinking more like we sell this table for $10. Are we supposed to get, collect the 25 cents or 30 cents? Oh,
Just, don't worry about it.
Yeah. IRS has a lot more freshy, press.
Well, would it be the state coming after us? Is it?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Not big sales tax, I mean.
Yeah, but that's even the Wisconsin revenue, I'm sure they're busier now. That's something to do, I think it'd be great if you could just write one up and then we ask questions, we check into it.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be pretty much. Like this.
Yeah.
County one, I mean, do you guys care? I mean, I don't think.
Oh, I thought that pretty straightforward,
Yeah,
sale, donate,
it was
dispose.
a little more straightforward than the one from the town.
The town was, I read it and I just.
Towns are generally pretty,
I didn't even know what I read when I was reading the town one, I was like, this makes no sense to me, I didn't understand what they were even trying to do.
yeah.
I mean, that's. I mean, do we need to have a policy, include the policy of selling real property though too? Was that in that county one?
Yeah, the county one had real.
That's what the state or the town one, but.
It just says, real property decisions will be made by the county board as the it's like, real property is completely.
Which makes sense. Which I-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that, just to, made by the village board.
Yeah, it's just.
Yep.
just-
That's right, it was lumped in that first. It wasn't a separate line category,
Yeah.
it was just lumped in that first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just take this one and alter it, maybe I'll do a search, maybe I'll see if I can find Madison, see if Middleton has one.
Yeah, I gotta believe they all have.
Just do a quick comparison
Yeah.
and not make it real complex.
I know a lot of places don't necessarily have their policies online too, so maybe.
Yeah, and what worries me about Madison, I mean, they have a whole department.
Yeah, it's probably.
Purchasing.
Detail.
Go there, I might send Marone maybe an email, be like, what do you
Or,
have?
yeah.
What do you do?
And Fitchburg, Fitchburg would be one too, because they were smaller at one time. And I wonder what Wanakee does.
We want or.
I don't want an email 4,000.
You do you, Michael. Figure something out, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
right, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I got a lot going.
With that, you want me to back you up? Cause I will, and I use AI at home now. So I can do some of the searches kind of quick and thorough. And like
Tina-
send you information on.
You check more the state statutes?
Mhm.
Do you wanna check more like on the state statutes, if there's anything we can or can't do?
Whatever, why don't you make a list of things you wanna know about, give it to, I'm a researcher, so,
Oh.
Well,
if you want to contact a few of those municipalities, try to find out, whichever
what
one,
kind of policies they
Middleton,
have.
Fitchburg, Mount Ward, if they have a sale of surplus property policy,
Okay,
that would be great.
so Middleton, Fitchburg, where else you guys?
I'd say Mount Warren.
Or-
Rural, those are like the four
Kinda right around here.
right down.
And we're looking for dispersal
Of
Property, so I would go what it says right on line 4, disposal of municipal assets.
okay. Yeah, let me do that and then I'll send you what I find.
Send me an email,
Yeah, and then you can take a look and then if you need any help beyond that, I'm happy to help with that too.
yeah. Okay,
Sort
great.
of like tone it down or something, we can take, in fact, I can do that too. I can have, AI is pretty cool if you use it right.
If you use
Because
it,
you can feed into it like these four, if I get policies from each one of these groups, then I can feed the information from each of these groups and tell AI to compare them and give me the similaries and the dissimilarities. And that might help us to come up
Yeah,
with
that would
something.
probably be very useful.
If you wanna do all that, that'd be great.
Yeah,
And then you get the combinations of that stuff and then see what they have. I mean, maybe they have taxpayer for department,
Yeah,
taxpayer,
yeah,
you know,
there, some of them may touch on that, that would give us some information.
like the order, like it's already all there.
Right.
Wow, that'd be great.
Let me see what I can do, happy to try,
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just need your email before I leave.
okay, yeah, I'll do it to you.
That'd be helpful.
I know, I
I
appreciate
can't
it.
build houses, but I can do.
So what's the next thing? The next thing is the fee schedule. Discussion on the fee schedule. This was you also about.
Yeah, so the reason I'm bringing this one up is more about like zoning review. So our building permit or building inspector came in and he thought that our zoning type fees were really low, especially for zoning review, because a lot of municipalities outsource their zoning review where they have like a contractor or they, so Carly does ours. And they think that we should be collecting more fees for Carly's time that she's spending doing this. So that was one. And then kind of in conjunction with that, currently Tracy, our building inspector, sets the rates for his services and then we tack on 10%. And so then it's like, are we still good with 10%? We want to bump that up to 15 to bring in some more revenues. Just kind of as we're preparing for the 2027 budget, are there any of these that, we would want to increase?
Did we do a comparison piece? Did you go on some stuff?
I want to say
Probably.
we did a while back. I thought that was one of the first things we did,
Yeah,
was look at
the
the,
first things when I was on.
yeah, that's what I
I don't
thought.
remember that. I'm sure we did, but yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm
I
not
forgot
sure if we hit zoning.
which ones we looked at.
I thought we,
Well, wasn't it like fees for like new housing?
That might be.
Oh, the developer, the developer fees,
Housing lots, and we charge for like sewer connection, wasn't it stuff like?
impact fees and stuff.
I just can't
Yeah.
remember.
So we're
I think it was that stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
Getting their whole fee schedule.
Yeah, it was that, it dealt with new lots and.
Yeah. So for right now, like if someone, does like a fence permit or a shed permit, Carly's gotta look at, the zoning and setbacks.
did he give you any idea on what they should be?
He did, but I don't remember.
Oh,
But
okay.
he even said like Maison and Black, like they're charging way more than we're charging.
Okay, well, what could way more mean?
Like-
And I'm seeing 150, so are they doing
Well, like
300
fees for.
So we're not,
the zoning down there?
we're,
You see the zoning, land use permit and short term,
Bottom,
yeah.
so these are more for bigger projects. None of these are for,
Oh,
Just a
which ones are you
simple-
talking about then?
it's basically creating one.
Oh, okay, well, that's different then.
Oh. it's
Yeah, so
creative.
these are more for like if a business submits a plan, like Zern,
Yeah.
charge some of these.
I guess I'm not sure then what so we're not charging anything?
There's a lot of zoning review that Carly does. Well, okay, for new houses, we'll say. So every time someone submits like a building permit, Tracy gets a fee for that.
And don't we get 10% of that?
For the building, yes. But as far as Carly's time, checking setbacks and making sure it meets all the zoning requirements, we're not collecting a fee for the zoning review for a new home.
And you're saying like Blackbird does charge a zoning review? for
Yes.
home? I have a quick question, when like, let's say like Zern is trying to do their thing and like Sonia writes up her review of whatever. Does she bills us, but do we bill Zern for that
Yes.
time, or how does that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure that that isn't like just part of the
Yeah,
land development fee, but.
yep, so any consulting fees we can
We actually.
pass through. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I assumed that, but I just wanted to make sure.
So that's what we're saying is like in communities where they
Can you get,
pay Vanderwall to do all the stuff that Carly does.
well, okay. Can you get Carly to write down a list for us, because.
Sure.
And then we can take a look at that and then compare it to other communities, what they do for the same thing. Because otherwise, I'm not sure how we search.
Well, yeah, like I'm curious, like what does Black Earth charge for in terms of like these zoning things, like it's like, so when somebody wants to build a shed and their administrator spends half hour doing it and then they get charged, you know.
I would guess it's more of a, no, I probably don't do it per unit, they probably do it per action. So when they put in a request for a shed permit, let's say, or a review, it's a dollar amount, no matter if she spends 5 minutes or 5 hours.
Right, okay.
That's what I would think how they would run it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's how I would think it, and some of the stuff can get somewhat time consuming. I'm just thinking out that patio that I spent at least an hour and a half with couple, you know, trying to figure out the zoning on that. And I know Harley also spent a lot of time. So,
The zoning was one. Another one he brought up was, currently if people want a new roof, we just charge a $20 fee because there's not an inspection. And he said like a Madison, for example, charges you a percentage of your project. So if it's a, $10,000 roof. He was
Okay,
just coming up with ideas.
I was talking to somebody the other day, talking about putting a new roof on, and they were like, I'm not even gonna pull a permit. Is what they
Most
said.
places don't.
So we're trying to charge 10% of it. People don't wanna pay 20.
He was just
they'll pay 500.
commenting how we,
and there again, we should pull that off if we're not gonna enforce it. Because I'm with you.
well, we,
I go by a lot of houses and I don't see permits and I know they're putting new roofs on. Because I see all the shingles piled in the driveway and trucks.
so I will say this year with like the hail stuff, when Becky would drive around, like to go to the post office, she would call or email the companies and be like, hey, I see like your car's in front of this house. It didn't pull a permit. Like,
Oh,
so we're this year,
okay.
proactively.
Because like I say, roofing is real easy. That's pretty easy to tell if someone's putting a new roof on. It's pretty hard to sneak that by.
Yeah. And like driveways, I know, a local company that puts driveways in fails to pull permits. And so Matt Cooey will go and like stop them and tell them they gotta come down here and get their permit before they can keep going. And so we are cracking down a little bit
Well,
on it.
and then we should, because it's not fair to the people who follow the rule.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's another one, maybe they're widening their driveway and didn't ask if it's meeting setbacks or zoning stuff, like.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who just, try to do it on the weekend when we're not open or not paying attention.
My question is, and my husband would be the one that would know the answer, but my question is, what are in other words, when I think of building, I think of, you need to have the inspections to make sure that it's built so it's not gonna fall down, right? But when you're thinking about just putting on a new roof because the one you have is damaged from hail,
That does not get an inspection, correct?
that does not get.
No.
Okay, so it's things that can be dangerous to the residents or other people in the, like, buildings falling down on top of people as compared to cosmetic, stuff.
The permit, what we did a long time ago is, we wanna know, it's important to know when you put a new roof on, right? Because that changes the value of your home.
Mhm.
And that's something that the village should know since we do assessments, right?
Right.
But we only do $20, so it's, if
It's
you.
more of an administrative,
Record keeping.
Yeah,
It's not like you have to pay do you have an inspector go out?
no.
So like
There's
if
a
you
number of-
reside your house and just replace windows,
Yeah,
that's, $20, because it's not, they don't need to be inspected unless you're cutting a hole and you're, making your window bigger, then you need a building inspection, building permit. But if you're just simply pulling one out and putting one back in, that doesn't need an inspection.
But the permits are used by the assessors to see what.
Right, who's any improvements.
well, we're working on ours right now, but we have, so.
And that's why so many people don't pull the permits, is because they know it will affect their
Well,
assessment.
now they don't have to care because mine went up 91%. Pull any permit, so it's terrible.
Did you hear when we talked earlier about the fact that you were here, when the assessors were here.
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
Did they have a thing for veterans? Veterans get a discount or there's some kind of a,
I don't think Wisconsin offers that.
it seemed to me there was something, maybe it wasn't veterans, maybe it was
Actually, just wait a
like, I forget what it's called. It's like when you go to your home for a period of time and you get a break because you're either a senior or you've lived in your home for a long time.
Yeah, there might be things like that, but we don't.
Okay.
Obviously, they had the 1% increase. We don't have that.
Yeah.
As long as we want our homes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it
Somewhere.
was real shocking.
So do we get rid of, like, if someone's gonna put in a new water heater, that they need?
Here, this is, yep,
agree With that?
I'm answering your question.
Oh, the tax credits.
On your Wisconsin income tax return,
Uh-huh, there it is.
there is a credit. Yep, but that's, you would file on your Wisconsin income tax return. Yeah. I knew I had something.
I read something, but I couldn't
Well, it's
remember.
weird, yeah, the piece of it, I don't think, do we get rid of needing a permit for a water heater replacement and furnace when we went through one time? I thought we used to have that in, but reading this fee thing, I can't see, I don't see anything on water heater or furnace. Was that just, did we rule? Did the board take that out once just because that's just a internal maintenance thing? Cause it doesn't say, you know, in that top one, miscellaneous maintenance or
Right.
replacement. Cause that would be like where water heater and furnace would fall, but it's not listed
Yeah.
as examples.
Yeah, you must be,
I think we might have gotten rid of it.
yeah, we must have. I know we talked about it and we did make modifications.
I think we
So
decided.
we were asking was way too much, remember? No one was doing it.
Well, yeah, I think nobody, the furnace companies would just come and replace it,
Yeah.
replace the water heater.
This includes water softener replacement, window replacement, siding, re-roofing, and concrete pads.
Yes, it doesn't. I'm not sure why a water softener is included.
Why does?
But not around here.
Yeah. Or a furnace or anything. Yeah, that's weird.
Water soft.
Do they not inspect water or furnaces? Stuff?
Well, a lot of times since it's just a straight replacement, it just used to be like if you were like moving your water, because you have to
Oh.
remove the,
Repiping?
then you would need a permit, but if all the pipes are basically staying where they are, you just take one out, wheel the new one in. Most people don't get a permit when they're,
Yeah.
or even for their furnace, they just take it out and bring it back in. They just
Yeah, just go buy it.
Right, or you just have somebody do it, so I
Yeah.
think we got rid of water.
Yeah, I think we did,
Furnace, like, cause I think we were like, nobody was getting them anyway, we were
Yeah.
like, why?
Right,
should-
yeah.
You know, nobody even thinks their water heater goes, at first thought isn't, I need to get a permit, they think I need hot water.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you
And
know,
that's with the furnace and stuff. You're not gonna wait for a
Yeah.
permit to go get it.
right, if the winter time, you're just getting it done, and then once it's in, you're like, oh, am I gonna get the permit?
So
No,
why does the water softener one stay in?
I don't know, that's weird. I mean, because it doesn't even say anything about water softeners in
Here
here.
now, we've got water softener tank, and we put the salt in it, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you do? You put the salt?
Yeah,
in it?
that's in the
And
brine.
it just helps to cut the gritty stuff that.
Yeah, takes the minerals out.
I think if somebody was fixing the water softener, they're not gonna.
No,
It's usually not homeowners, but like Hellenbrand Water, they pull quite a few permits.
Oh, so they're
Oh, they do, the water softener people do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, maybe it's been built in the pricing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They built a permit.
$20.
Or right, like if just a homeowner was doing it, they went balling, like you said, at Home Depot, and we're just doing it themselves, they're not gonna.
Well, just get us the list what you want us to look at, and
Okay,
then we
yeah.
can,
Yep.
I guess, look at comparables.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can do it.
yeah, especially I'm curious as like what Blackrock charges or other places
Maybe.
charge for the zoning, like in terms of a fence or a shed. Cause what would that fall under now? Just a $20 building permit fee? Like that says,
I think we'd add one more charge to that
Yeah.
list.
but like, so like now though, like when someone comes in like wanting to install a shed, what's the process? I don't even know. Do they come and get a building permit to put it in or what? Or-
It's they have the fence and shed permit. Where did that go?
So if you buy a shed like at Home Depot, you need to get a permit for it.
I don't know.
When you install it,
It's more for zoning,
yes, yes,
to make sure,
to make sure you follow the rule that you have the setbacks, it's not
Yes,
bigger
yes,
than
yes.
it's supposed to.
yeah.
Got it.
But the one that I'm more
$5.
interested is when all these plans come in, Carly's looking to make sure the setback is right and for the whole house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think we just add a line to that. I don't know what these other places are calling it, administrative review or something. But yeah, I think should do that.
So how much does that cost?
This one's just a $20 one also.
Is that what, does it say it on there or you just know that?
It's in our schedule.
Is it on the,
Isn't it?
Yeah, well, all, it's a miscellaneous maintenance or replacement, not requiring inspection, bench, roof siding.
Yeah.
It doesn't say shed, but I think that's a
Yeah.
shed.
There's a shed on the list somewhere.
I don't know. Not really about it. Those are just. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see like.
So I should go back and go
What
back.
the kids in charge
Pull
for.
permits for their water, water softeners, get an extra 20 on them. So they need 2 times for failure to file a permit.
And it'd be interesting to know like what the zoning reviews are, with just bench, shed. They.
I think a lot of it, just the new homes take a lot of her time.
Oh, that's okay, it's more than new.
Yeah.
I got you, so that would be like, okay.
Because then you have to check, like, do they have enough, like, too much other lot is covered by a building or driveway, you know, did they have the right amount of grass and landscaping percentages, you know, checking all that stuff, the garage height, the garage width, the garage door, you know, there's all the ordinances you have to follow.
Right.
Whereas like the building inspector's just checking to make sure it passes code, they're not checking if it matches our ordinances.
Gotcha, so it's just, we're checking those. I got you, okay. Yeah.
You know, unless we wanna discuss outsourcing.
No, I think we gotta keep it in-house, someone who's familiar. Or just get back into what we're doing with the architect.
All right. All right, I will, work on that then. And bring that back.
That's all that was on the agenda.
We're short one member here. Anybody that you think would be qualified and a good member of finance?
I'm gonna bring up, you're gonna be short on the second member. So
No,
Why, you leaving us?
we'll be moving
Where are you moving to?
up to Eastman area,
To where?
to where we have a cabin.
Oh, you're gonna move to your
Yeah,
cabin?
we're building a house out there.
nice.
Wow.
So,
When does that happen?
well, we're probably gonna be put out.
Oh, when are you putting your house up for sale?
Then Jay's like,
Probably next spring or next. When we find. We haven't gotten to that point yet.
Oh,
When are you retiring? Pretty quick here?
Couple months.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
yeah, it's exciting.
It's not easy.
well, maybe we
I'm
could,
finding that out too.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not
maybe
easy.
we can talk, because Luke is looking to move in
Is he?
to the village.
My neighbor.
Save something on commission.
Mm-mm.
She does.
Or do you have something already in mind?
Well,
You don't.
Julie used to work for Waterbury, so she's,
To who?
when she worked for Waterbury,
She
a little
might
bit,
like to, you
so
know.
she had somebody
Because she has a background in
that she really
finance.
kind of.
Oh, committed to,
Yeah, thank you.
because that's how I got mine, I heard,
About money.
oh, we should, I'll let the community answer.
Okay, so next is future agenda items.
Just,
I have a question. I don't know if this is the right place to ask it, but I had heard a couple of people commenting on the playground that was put in the, what's it called, Scenic Valley. And it's got a couple of, features that are made of concrete. And some of the parents are concerned because if the kids fall and hit their heads or their faces or whatever on, and they climb on them and stuff like that. So I just wanted to bring that up. I don't know how we would address that or if
Well, that would go to Parks and Rec.
Yeah, just talk to Kane, let him,
talk to Kane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, it's like they molded hay bales out of concrete and then they placed them. And I don't know if they're supposed to sit on them, but the kids don't.
Well, that's kind of like at the zoo. They have a whole concrete thing with, dinosaur bones and stuff like that, everything's.
Okay, yeah, that should go to Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
yeah, just
How do you spell his last name?
Browskowski,
Browsko.
Browkowski.
Brow.
Yeah, Michael would know.
I got it, Browkowski.
If you can spell Michael's name, you can spell
Yeah.
I'll look him up.
I think, yeah, he should be able to go for.
Yeah.
The staff. He should-
I need to talk to him. That's one.
Okay, so any other future agenda items or?
Has Carly talked to you at all about the trout project? The trout statue?
No.
Okay. I'll talk to you afterwards
All right.
a little bit, give you a heads up, and then it may eventually come in here because I'm the fundraising person.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm always open for suggestions.
Sure.
Okay. Any other?
The only thing I guess, and it's gonna be really up to you, Michael, how involved you want to get this group in the budget process?
Yeah, I don't know. I've thought about that before or not, or what. I mean,
Because if you're gonna do it, then you should always be a month ahead, just like,
right.
you get the material and then discuss it,
I know Paul's mentioned that a couple of times at different meetings we've been here, but I was assuming part of lunch for us. And
yeah. Well, no, yeah, it has not been, but, I know you had an interest, right, in having them do some. But the thing is, it always should be ahead, so it's valuable information to give to the board instead of having it after the board. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I don't, and that's where. Yeah, that's where I don't know in terms of what information would be, because our budget isn't incredibly complex, so we just kind of raise things by 2 percentages and just sort of. That's where I don't know, like, what would be the outcome from this committee of looking at, what those ideas.
Well, if you're asking me, I think at least I feel I put an incredible, for this budget year already, I've easily put in 20 hours. And I'm crunching numbers and everything like that. It would be nice to have this group help with that or at least review it before it gets to the board. I'm just thinking, and the same thing with going over, like the base budget, we pretty much don't really review that. If they meet the 2% or whatever was given to them, we kind of let it slide, but it wouldn't hurt for someone to look at that. And I'm just looking at what we saved in the past with the street lights, with the phone. Are there things out there that other eyes looking at this would be helpful?
Right. And it wouldn't hurt, like, to go through and review base budget or just other pieces of it. I mean, how would you feel about that, Bobby?
it's more of a timing thing, like for me to get everything a whole month earlier than,
I see.
like I'm already like putting stuff together the 2 days before the board meeting, to put it together several weeks.
Okay, then, and that's probably why we haven't done, but then let's just look at the bigger picture. So kind of just hoping, because I see in the cell, there's $2.7 million for super. And I don't know why it's there, because why would we do anything until we get the report that we paid for this 20-year strategic plan for the sewer plant, right? Well, that's something that could come here. We can look at everything and actually plan that out.
I think that was a carry, like last year was put in there as a placeholder and it just got.
Well, yeah, it keeps getting moved because,
Yeah.
you know, it's been 18 months that we paid them to do this report. So, you know, but again, that's what I guess would be another thing, because that's not something that has to be done this year. We can look at that and say, here's what our engineer and our feasibility study, here are the numbers that the sewer utility has right now. How should we iron this out? Because there's a lot of decisions to make. How much do you pay in cash? How much do we borrow?
Right.
You know,
Yeah, see, something like that, this group definitely look at, because
Yeah.
it's more of a, rather than a few days before the meeting budget, it's more of a longer term.
Yeah.
Sort of planning like thing, like, these are the
Yeah.
things in the field plan that in case they need to be replaced sooner, later. This is cash on hand, this is
our projected revenue.
right.
All right. That's something let's just throw that one out, because that one should be coming. It'll be new.
Right.
And like I say, I don't always I feel comfortable with the work I do, but it's always better when you have more eyes on it and people have different ideas and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, but that's something I think this group can do.
It's sort of even like I was sort of talking, since I'm Bobby and Emo, I almost even brought your little water memo here, just to have them read it.
Yeah.
You know, for this meeting, just so sort of have an idea of what's going on. I sort of did some explanation before you got here to kind of talk about it.
But see, to me, the idea with that is Monday, when that comes up, you should refer it to finance. Because there's no rush with that.
Right, well, no, yeah.
You know, so there is that review.
Right.
Yeah, the only reason I was hesitant is because I made a promise to the board that I was gonna do the numbers. So I think it would have been disrespectful not to be here. Yeah. It was all coming, so
I figured out, like, no big deal.
no, but I think it's totally appropriate for you to say, hey, I'd like to refer this to the finance. And I'd be more than happy with that.
Right.
But at least the board, the important thing for me with that is looking to give people an idea of the cost. Because it's so easy to talk about passing this, but if you don't know how you're gonna pay for it, it can get yourself in trouble.
Right.
So I think this group should look at that, but that would be the process.
Yeah.
Just because how it started.
Right.
There is no budget committee, is there in the village?
No, we used to, you know, finance used to only form up before, and they would go to all the committees and talk about what their needs were and blah, blah, blah. You know, and that Kurt got rid of that. And when we brought it back, I still think there was a finance, but I wanted this group to be more research and development than just doing what they did. So that's kind of that was more on me to how it started, because I think we're more effective that way. And I wanted us to be neutral. You know, we're fact finders and option providers, but we don't say, hey, this, because you'll lose credibility then. You know, but that was just my idea. And finance has been around, what, 3-4 years now?
Yeah.
I think it's more like 4 or 5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the model's there, and I think I mean, if you look at this is what we've accomplished over those years, it's pretty good. It's an active committee. We've produced a lot. So I'd like to keep that rolling, and that's where I'm trying to get us into this, because we've got some really tough decisions to make, especially this year, but even this whole TID thing, it'd be great to bounce it here so everybody reads this and understands it a little bit. Because it's nothing simple anymore.
Mhm. So yeah, so might be having some additional other things it's supposed to look at.
And to be honest with you, when you approached me to get on the committee a couple of years ago, I was thinking more along the lines of the numbers. You know, I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, we crunched a lot of numbers in this couple of years So that.
Yeah, numbers are still very important,
But that's why I was surprised that first year, like, oh, we didn't have anything to do with the budget, we didn't have anything to. I mean, we weren't even seeing financial statements, we were
Yeah.
just seeing the check.
Yeah, no.
So, I mean, I think we've evolved this.
Right,
Where
absolutely.
it's becoming a little more oversight and a little more.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and that's what you want, continuous improvement.
Right.
And, but you need people that have that skill set. That's what makes this one a little bit harder. I can't just take anybody. Cause if you get someone who doesn't like numbers, now gets another person who maybe doesn't like numbers, but likes research.
Yeah.
That's right there,
I was trying to think. I don't know.
You know what I mean? And that's why, to me, research was important, because in my head, I want us to be more R&D, but you're right, we need to also look at, it, but in this village, and it's like a lot of villages, it's easy to come up with good ideas, but it's very difficult to move them forward, and the key to moving them forward is always numbers. Can't come,
Okay, any more future agenda items? Okay, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Yep, and I apologize for being late. For some reason,